think this guy's a vampire.
He gives a smile, and he's like, oh, well, this is going to be fun, isn't it? And you find yourself eating breakfast.
Oh, shit!
Oh, my.
You also, Jacob, are getting ready to go to circus, and you're at your desk, and all of a sudden, you're eating breakfast.
Son of a bitch. All right, so so just back to the oatmeal and
Whatever you want. You can mix it up.
That's your life.
So in my mind, it's exactly the same as it was yesterday.
Oh my god,
Like
Groundhog Day.
with the oatmeal dripping out of my mouth, and I reach up and I grab the paper to check the date again.
I bet in the back of your mind, are you worried like you did all that exercise and it didn't take?
Exactly.
It is Monday. It is 4 days later. It was Thursday.
The first night was Thursday, and then it was Friday
Wednesday
morning.
night was the first night. No, it was Wednesday night, and you woke up on a Thursday.
And now it's Monday.
And now it's Monday. And before the rest of you ask, it's Monday.
Mm-hmm. And I just start flipping through the paper again, trying to do I remember any of the stuff that happened over the weekend? You know, some movie launch or something, like anything I can do to try to place myself in the now.
No.
Are your muscles sore?
Uneventful August weekend in Kansas.
And I do this to see whether or not I'm sore from my workout. Because 4 days, I'd still be sore after doing that.
Yeah, what's the part that always gets the most sore?
When you do squats and you haven't done them forever and you basically can't even stand up out of a chair.
That still hurts.
Oh, jeez. Huh.
I check my phone first to see the date and then to see if I've texted anybody or called anybody in the last 4 days.
Yeah, you look back through your life, and it is basically a really normal weekend that you cannot remember. Right? If you look at everything contextually, it all makes sense. There's nothing weird other than you remember none of it. But the weirdest thing of all is there is a text from an unknown number in there, which just contains an address.
Well, at least I don't have to remember playing the Shadow House.
From the text you can see, it didn't go well.
Yeah, it never does.
Yeah.
So is this address, it's in town?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is in town. And just to work with all of you, you all have the same text with the same address. I just put it up in the chat window.
Okay. My next move is to immediately
beautiful.
text Ethan.
To text
because he's the only number I have for these.
I bet we got each other on Facebook if we went to school together.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And so that's in my phone too?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because some people will be audio only, who wants to describe what we're looking at here?
I will. So we are looking at the side of what could be a prison or a large industrial building that is blackened from either use, disuse, possibly a fire at some point. It is probably on the edge of some basically unused piece of land with a few trees on it. It's basically where you go to get killed in a Daredevil episode.
It is South Maple Street, Coffeyville, Kansas. So
yeah, look it up.
It's the corner of South Maple Street and I don't know where. I was just walking around the virtual town of South Coffeyville.
And it doesn't ring a bell to me at all. Is it a part of town I've even never been to?
It's a small town. You guys have driven by this all day long.
It'd be hard to miss.
I've come out here to get high a bunch.
It's a half mile. It's a half mile from my office.
Yeah, although I have to tell you, when I walked around it, and unfortunately for Coffeyville, there are a lot of places that look like this. So this just caught my attention.
I immediately get into the car and go. Because now I'm freaking out a little bit. As soon as I find that, I just grab my coat, stretch a little bit.
So did we all get a text?
You all got a text from an unknown number.
Over the weekend or just now?
It was actually close to midnight last night.
Okay.
Sunday night.
Okay, so do I get a hold of Ethan?
Yes. Ethan,
So
you're on
we,
the phone
like,
with Regina. You can either act it out or just tell me what happened.
We debrief, basically, I
Right.
guess. Like, what happened to you? Oh my god, what happened to you?
Yeah.
So I got this text with, like, an address on it where I used to go to get high in high school.
Okay.
I mean, did you send me this? It's got an unknown number on it.
No, hang on, let me. Yeah, it looks like I have the same thing. I did not send that to you.
This Robert guy is fucking with us.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Just to make sure, do you remember talking to him like a minute ago?
Yeah, and he was all like, this is gonna be interesting. And then suddenly I'm waking up again.
Yeah, okay. Look, give me a few minutes. I'll call you back.
Wait, but
Okay.
Click.
So we can sort of start to just describe. I'm assuming we already had Jacob say he's going there. Are the rest of you going there? Or are you meeting up
yeah.
first? Are you going to compare notes?
no, hell yeah, I'm heading straight out.
Yeah.
With my crowbar, I might add.
Okay.
Right. I get Bob to cover. Bob's more than happy to cover. And he's casual. And I, everybody's kind of looking at me weird because I did this last week too. And then I head out.
So I'm probably pretty good. I want to do a little research on the phone number. I've got a couple of resources I could use to try and find out where this text came from.
Burner phone.
A what?
Burner phone. You know the phones you get and you dispose
Yeah.
of?
Oh, okay.
It's
All
the
right.
great procedural, you can't learn anything more shortcut.
Burner phone.
It's a burner.
At this point, yeah, I think I'm on board. I recognize the place, or generally the address, because it's right near where I work. So I'm gonna head that way anyway. And I sort of get in the car thinking, I'll just go see it as I go to the office because I want to go back to the office to. Do I have my car? Do I have my gun? Do I have all the same stuff I had?
You can have whatever you like.
So it's just
I check my inventory.
I check.
I.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go there too.
Okay. So shall we say you all arrive there either knowingly or unknowingly at roughly the same time? We'll
Sure,
use
I'd say so.
narrative oversight to get you there.
Sure. I'm good with that.
Okay. It's Monday morning. It's already hot. It's overcast. And other than leaves on the trees, it pretty much looks exactly like that photo. This is an abandoned factory. Probably last was doing business at full capacity in the 60s and at any capacity in the 70s. It's one of the various places that you can see it's near a rail yard. I did find a different factory in this town called Acme. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Nice.
You don't know exactly what it was. It was sort of like before your time. Town pride, that your town used to have like the most glass factories in the country, I believe, back at the start of the last century, start of the 20th century. So odds are it's an old glass factory. You all pull up at roughly the same time. The three of you, Chuck and Regina and Ethan, had just seen each other 3 minutes before, by your reckoning, on the other side of town and 4 days ago. But there is a kind of, let's see, let me just do this, a balding guy with glasses who's walking really gingerly.
No, I know him. He does my uncle's taxes every year.
I do everybody's
I
taxes.
pump gas for that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give you all a little bit of a nod. At this point, I'm now kind of disassociating and feel like this is all some sort of comic book thing that's happening. So I just sort of nod at everybody. Like,
do I know him? Do I know you?
we have to know each other. I mean, it's a small town. He's an attorney.
It's
I'm
a small town, a
CPA.
CPA and
Okay.
attorney, yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
probably
Yes.
go to the same Rotary Club meeting once a year that we're
geez.
supposed to
Okay.
go.
Yeah,
every
or
quarter.
you've made it you've made it a referral. Like, look, you can't just not do your taxes. This is why the IRS is
Right.
coming after
Exactly.
you. Like,
Yeah.
call this guy and he can, do it.
So I see you guys.
In
get
fact,
out.
I might be relieved to see somebody that I actually kind of know and trust.
Yeah,
I'm walking and standing a little tougher than I clearly am, and I just sort of look at you all and nod in almost a comically tough guy way and be like, "You too, huh?"
Yeah. Hey. Good to
What's
see
your
you.
last name? What's your last name, Jacob?
Morris, CPA,
Morris. I'm like, Mr.
Mr.
Morris?
Morris. Yes.
What are
Hey.
you doing here? Hang on, did you get like a text?
I did. I think it has something to do with that circus thing. I'm guessing you guys saw it too, huh? And I'm really comically not talking like I should normally talk.
Okay, so there are gonna be like a bunch of other people showing up. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Are you okay, Mr. Morris?
No, I'm not. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay. Hey, Chuck. Real quick, Jake. I'll be right back. Chuck, can I get a moment of your time?
Sure, let's step into your office, I guess.
Yeah. No. Just just. Do you have a second?
What is this, Happy Days?
Look, I get the whole, corporate tool BMW man scene. If you fuck around like that again, you and I are going to have a serious problem. Okay? Now, nope. Just letting you know. Like, you can react and
I'm
get
sorry.
as pissed
Did
as
we
you
all
want.
just black out and time travel 4 days, and this is your main concern?
Yes, it is, because the reason we blacked out for 4
I'm
days
the
is
problem here.
Yes.
I'm me. Chuck, gas station
Yes,
manager, is
Chuck.
the problem here.
Yes, Chuck.
Not guy
we
who
had
just.
that under control.
not
and
the
then
vampire guy.
you had your little outburst. I'm just letting you know. Okay?
Oh, you're
Cool.
in control right now. Okay, good. Well, I feel so much safer. So you made time stop.
I
or
walk
whatever
away.
the fuck just happened.
So I just, as
I'm
these guys
having
are,
so much fun.
as these guys are chatting, I go over to Regina and I'm being like, "We should find a door. That's what we should do." And so I start walking around the side trying to find the door.
Good luck with that.
Man with a plan.
You find many doors, right? At one point, this was a working, albeit creepy, terrifying building. And you find a door sort of that would lead to, what it probably was the factory office. It has a glass window, but it's reinforced with rebar, right? It's all sort of dirty and you can't really see in it. And it's a heavy storm door sort of thing. So it's, it's locked. You don't see any way to unlock it. You don't know if it's barred from the
wonder-
inside.
Regina, you said you used to get high here.
Yeah.
Did you physically get high and climb that big yellow ladder and go to the
Yeah.
door's top? Is that locked usually?
Well, there was a gate at the top to try to prevent you from getting on the roof, but we busted that down. I mean, back in the day when I was in high school anyway. I guess I could go take a look, see if it's still there. I start climbing.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, you get up to the top.
So just visually to
Yeah.
cue this up, this is a tall, very narrow building, and on the narrow side of it, there is a yellow, fire ladder going down the side or going up the side. It's really tall. We're talking 5 stories at least
Yeah,
here.
it's super tall.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
and it's one of those ones that has little caged in part once you get a certain distance off the ground. So she's halfway up it.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can get to the top. I'm not going to, this is cinematic. I'm not going to have you make a check to see if you die on a ladder. That's not the way you're going to go. I will have no problem killing you, of course, but not on
Right.
a ladder.
Sweet.
All right, so they all disappear up the side.
Yeah.
I don't like this being alone thing because I was kind of into we had a super team. I don't even know anybody's name yet, but I was like, okay. So I just I'll be right there. I'm coming, and I go.
I've been
behind them on
working
the
out a
ladder.
lot lately,
Yeah.
so no
should
problem.
be pretty easy. Hurts like hell. I can barely move halfway up the ladder.
I guess the fact that Regina is carrying a crowbar is not necessarily helping you realize that this is reality either.
Nope.
Yeah. Probably not helping our stealth check either. As you're climbing your way up with a crowbar in your hand.
Quite honestly, there's just a lot of bored people who are teens or out of work. So seeing a bunch of people crawling around on a ladder of an abandoned factory is not super uncommon. Now, if they had stopped and noticed the crowbar and that one person was 50 and some other guy might have been dressed to go work in a law office, that might have caught their attention.
But Chuck and Regina,
from a distance,
not so much.
Yeah, from a distance, a guy in coveralls climbing the ladder to this is like, oh, okay, yeah, well, it's Monday, but usually that's a Thursday thing.
Yeah, coveralls are like a free ticket into anywhere if you look like you know what you're doing.
So you get to the top of this building. Anybody not like being on a very narrow, very tall building?
Me. Yeah, totally not my thing. Totally not my thing.
I want you to pull a card. You'll notice I reshuffled it and added all the major arcana in.
That's going to be great. Okay. The moon.
Oh, look at that. Okay, now I have to go to my tarot card reading and see what the moon means. And for anyone listening who actually does tarot cards, I apologize in advance. The moon indicates that things may seem somewhat confusing to you now. You may find it hard to understand where you are coming from, much less what others are thinking and feeling. You need to try to sit with the uncertainty. Don't try to force things or people to do things before they are ready.
Got it.
It says you are definitely in a more psychic and intuitive phase than usual, so it would be important for you to trust your instincts and your impressions, even if you don't know where they are coming from.
There we go. So I'm just going with it.
Yeah.
You get one free pass now for the rest of the session to do something outrageous and have it work.
Okay.
Ooh,
nice.
All right, so we all get to the top. I have my moment of crisis on the way up the ladder. Is there some sort of... Do we get all the way to the roof?
Yeah, all the way to the roof. There is like a fence that leads to like an access panel. And just like Regina said, like long ago, people getting high moved it out of the way so they could sit behind a fence rather than near the edge of the building. And the door itself is, we'll just say open, or so easily to open that you could get in.
Littered with like
there.
Beer bottles and
cigarette wrappers,
condoms.
and there's a condom. Condom wrappers and one condom. It's charming, and it's just like peeling tar paper up there. It's great.
Awesome. Well, should we go in?
I mean, we're this far. Let's go.
Okay, so you go in, and the door leads to a stairwell, which is sort of a fire exit, support stairwell. It's just basically a giant column of stairs going down through the bowels of this factory, which is what it is, and it is in fact a glass factory. I don't know if the actual picture I showed you is, but for our story,
right,
it's an old abandoned glass factory, which you can kind of figure out. Like, you figure out it's a glass factory somewhat contextually because the town still has some sort of cultural memory of things that were used to make glass. Like, you see, like, in the diner has like an old pouring thing or like a stick with a handle, and so you see like what had been tchotchkes around the town now sort of decrepit in their natural environment.
Is there an obvious way to get down from where we are?
You can just go down the staircase. Yeah, you have full access to the building as far as I'm concerned. And I'm assuming that you've walked down the stairwell and opened a door and peeked in and seen these abandoned things, and this is where there would be storage, and here's a conveyor belt, and here is
I'm guessing there's
where slag would be dumped.
Guessing there's no power, but there's windows here and there.
Yeah, greasy, dirty windows, or missing broken, the panes entirely as people threw rocks into it.
Can we see pretty well, or is it a lot darker? Is it hard to see?
It's dingy, but unless you're doing some fancy reading or something creative, we're going to say it's just fine.
If only we knew somebody who knew something about electricity.
Well, she'd have to find the power box and do a lot of work.
Turn the power on here? I can't do that. This place has been disconnected for decades, looks like.
What are we doing here? We all got a text with an address. And I know there's some really weird shit going on, but what are we doing here?
I surprisingly, I agree with Chuck.
Personally, I'm here to see if Robert is here, and if he is, I want to fuck him up.
Okay,
I think we're being tested. I think we failed the first 2 times, and this is our chance to succeed.
Tested? Tested by who?
I'm gonna give Jacob the quick version of what we experienced at the circus,
Okay.
just to kind of catch him up a little bit.
I was like, okay, so maybe this guy Roger, whatever his name is the one who's testing us. But all I know is that first night in the circus, we had a chance to stop something and we didn't, and now maybe we get a chance to do it again.
Look, I'm not sure I shared this with you guys before. I know who that shooter was. I know that person, not a friend, but I've had work experience with him.
Do you?
Well, as a client. I'm trying not to say he was a client.
Do you?
I feel like. So I say that, and then I'm like, I feel like.
Who was it? What was his name?
Jesus. So I pull out my phone to look for the picture of the tree.
You find a picture of the tree. Yeah, you find a picture of the tree that you took last Thursday.
I look over his shoulder. That's a tree, dude. Was his name Elm or Oak?
I went to that. No, this guy. I know. I went to a house. I was looking for him, which is where it has to do with this tree. It's like something happened. A thing happened with a tree, and I went to this guy's house, but he wasn't there.
The guy with the shooter?
Yeah.
That wasn't a person. That was a thing. That was a, I don't know, robot, zombie, ghost, bad makeup job,
wait,
something.
I'm sorry. Are you okay?
No, I was right there. I was standing right in front of him. It was not a normal person. This is some sort of test.
Are you the guy who ran toward the ring?
Yeah.
Oh. Jake.
I almost stopped him. I had that chance, and I blew it. And I'm not going to let that happen again.
Okay, well, you go first then. You walk ahead, and we'll watch your back.
Okay.
All right. So within half an hour, you find that what had been an adrenaline-induced adventure has been reduced to walking through a factory where you can still see empty cans of Fanta and Schlitz lying around on the ground. But you know there's something here, and if hard-pressed, you would say this, ironically, is when it really began. Because up until now, you were witnesses. But the fact that you can point back later and say that you knew that there was something here is when it all changed. So you keep going, and you keep going down. From the 5th floor to the 4th to the 3rd. And you're heading down from offices, packing areas, warehousing, into the rough underbelly of a glass factory, right? Slag, furnaces, a place that used to be blisteringly hot. And you can the ground crunches underfoot as if dozens of years of, mishaps and broken glass and mistakes were never, ever going to be swept up effectively. Who senses it first?
My ankle starts to hurt.
No, Mr. Moon.
No,
It has to be Jacob, guys, right?
I think I've probably been sensing it all along, so I may not notice the shift. So I'm just feeling like this is exactly what I expected.
Right, but who notices it?
I'm if it's a thing to see, I'm looking very closely, and I'm pretty used to doing that. But if it's a feeling, then it's not going to be me.
Okay. I'm just wondering, no one is saying that they're... Right, because we don't know what's happening, so how can you volunteer for the unknown? So I'm going to have one of you flip a card.
Okay, now let's do this one at a time,
Yes.
Okay.
just to keep our tarot program from blowing up.
So we'll go in descending character age order. So Jacob goes first.
All right.
Okay.
The 3 of swords.
Okay.
Woof.
And then Ethan.
4 of
Okay.
swords.
Oh, well,
sorry.
let me make sure I see his so I don't select his. There it is. Okay. I have got. Oh, it's my favorite card. I have the 9 of swords again. I have the bed,
Again?
the nighttime bed guy.
Your nightmares
Is that
are
what you?
strong.
Is that when you drew in the circus?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you
That's
were
what he drew, yeah.
when you were trying to do what? remember?
What was I trying
don't
to
remember.
do?
You're
If only we were recording this.
Yeah.
well, you were trying to recognize him.
That was it.
You,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
you were
Yes.
trying to recognize
Yes.
the guy.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and you
For a
did.
brief moment, the name Douglas Matthews pops into your head.
Ooh.
Do I
And you
say it out loud? Like,
Yeah, you
like
grab
that
a-
moment
you-
where you've just remembered that actor that you've been trying to remember?
Yes.
He's Douglas Matthews. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
guy.
what? Jeez, what?
Douglas, the dude's name. The shooter guy I was telling you about, the tree. His name's, oh God, it's, what did I just say?
Douglas Matthews.
Douglas
Yes.
Matthews. Maybe put it in your phone or something.
Right. And what you realize is every time every one of you says that name out loud, your eyes move to the same location on the floor, as if you're looking through it and down a level. It's almost compulsive, like your neck turns and your eyes turn.
What do we see there?
Well, who's-
I mean,
Are we still doing?
You're like
backwards
on the
or
you're
no?
like on the first floor, so
Okay.
you're seeing nothing there, but you know there's a basement.
Okay.
Are we still pulling cards or no?
Yep, you can pull cards. So next would be Chuck.
8 of Pentacles.
Okay. I'm going to say Pentacles is knowledge. All right, and Regina. What is that? That's a 6 of Pentacles,
Cups.
I believe.
Cups.
Pentacles.
Cups,
Yeah,
cups.
stars,
6 of
so-
cups. 6 of cups. It's the cups underneath.
Oh yes.
Okay. So we're going to go with the 8 of Pentacles.
Okay.
Okay, so that's Chuck.
Yeah. I broke into this factory before.
Yeah, well, what you notice is why the air conditioning is so damn cold.
Given
You're in the
there's no
middle
power.
of a powerless factory in August, and it's
In my
about six
coveralls, because
in your
apparently I don't
coveralls,
learn.
and it's about 60 degrees. Maybe colder.
Why is it so cold? I feel like I can almost see my breath. It's weird.
And as you say it, you almost
Yeah.
can.
That's
What was the name of
really
that guy
good
again?
question.
Douglas Matthews.
Oh, it's colder.
okay. How long is it? Now that we've noticed the cold, do we feel like it's been cold since we got in here, or got on this floor, or got in this room, or we don't have any?
You don't have a good sense. Certainly, now that you notice it, it seems kind of severe.
There's some
may-
weird,
Jacob, look. Okay,
some
'cause
weird
you,
Bloody Mary shit going on here.
You brought up the whole ghost, weird robot, whatever thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how are you feeling?
Not good. not good. But I feel like there's a reason that we're here, and it's down there. And I look around. Clearly, there's got to be like an old ratty push broom. And I start sweeping the floor in that spot to see if there's anything there.
No, there's a basement, man.
Douglas Matthews. Douglas Matthews.
Okay.
Douglas Matthews.
Wow.
Douglas
Chuck.
Now, as you start doing it, you can now totally see your breath. Right? It is now almost walk-in temperature.
This is kind of cool, but really fucked up. I think there's a door to the basement somewhere around here.
Yeah, it's over on the other side. Regina knows just where it is.
Actually, Jacob, do you want to use that sweeping thing as your insight?
Yes.
One free insight?
Yes.
Okay. You go over there, and you find, as you sweep underneath the dust, which is strange because you don't know why this would be underneath it, a card for the circus that you just went. And on the back, it has the name Robert Johnson III.
Hey, this
like
is
a
the
business card.
Like a business
I
card?
pick it up.
Yeah, like a business card.
I pick it up and I show it to Ethan. And I say, "Is this that douchebag you guys met yesterday or Thursday or whenever it was?"
This is definitely that douchebag we met on Thursday. Yeah, this, like, and I don't even feel surprised. Like I should be surprised, but it's like okay, and then I just hand it around, like, guys, yeah, we have to go in the basement. I know we have to go in the basement, but does anybody else have that moment, like when they're in the horror movie, that somebody on the other side of the screen is saying, "Don't go in the basement"?
What's that noise?
Yeah.
Where's it coming from?
Look, we just stick together.
I pick up my broom like I'm going to hit somebody with it because clearly it's the most effective weapon I'll be able to find in a factory.
I touch and just check my gun. Like, just, is it there? Okay, guys, back up. Let's step out of this room real quick. I know we got the basement. Let's step out. Let's just not go there yet.
Well, stepping out means going back onto a staircase and going all the way back to the roof. There's no
There are doors on the first floor. Aren't we on the first floor?
Yeah, you can go into like an old office, like a foreman's office, and then
the room
go
we're
to
in,
that.
is it big and open, or is it?
Okay,
Yeah, you're in a big open factory floor.
Can we
That's
tell
coming
where the
below
noise
you.
is coming from?
That's coming below you.
I want to know, guys. What are we here for? What did we come here for if we're not going to, like, check out everything?
And we missed our
Why
chance
is it
before.
so
We
fucking
blew it.
wanted
We blew it.
to
This is our
figure it
chance
out?
not to blow it, guys. Come on.
Blow.
Well, I'm going. I'm fucking going.
I'm with you.
That's for the door.
Let's
to
go. You have your
Let's go.
crowbar, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, so crowbar and broom, man. We're set.
Yeah. Okay. I pull out my phone and I turn on my little flashlight on my phone.
I think my weapon might have a little more durability than yours, but yeah, let's do this.
My curiosity's too strong. I regretfully follow. So we head down.
So you walk down to a room, and it's a relatively small room. It was probably maybe used for storage. It's hard to say at this point because, quite honestly, all of you are freaked the fuck out, and it's about 40 degrees down here. Right? If you touch against the wall, it's starting to almost get condensation. Oh, it's definitely getting condensation, but it almost looks like it's getting frost. And you walk down, and there's two things. One, there's a body on the floor. And two, there's a giant closed door that might have been a safe or a storeroom. It's a reinforced door. And that's where that noise is coming from on the other side.
It's closed, though.
Oh, it's closed for now.
I pull out my gun and just
I shine my light closer on the body.
Jesus, Ethan. Nice.
You all recognize the body, but none of you feel good about saying the name again out loud.
Does it look human
Wait,
or
we
does
all
it look
recognize
all
him?
weird and
As in we-
robot-y?
yeah.
Is that?
Yes, it is. I'm pretty sure it's him. Yes, don't.
Doug?
Don't. Please don't.
Just
Jack, can you... Jack,
Sweet him sal
Please.
god. Just say it backwards. It'll get warmer.
Oddly enough, that doesn't work.
But it doesn't get
Should have
colder.
saved your special ability for that.
I cautiously approach the body with the flashlight.
Okay, it's
See if it's a robot.
to say this is a out-of-body experience is not doing justice to how creepy this really is. The body is wearing the same clothes that you think you remember from what was either 5 nights ago or 2 hours ago, depending on how you parse time. You don't see any marks, but what you now understand what Jacob was saying, there is something about this body that seems hollow. Like it's a wax figure from a museum of a body, and like your mind keeps telling you this isn't what a body looks like, though none of you are by any means experts in corpses.
I poke it with the crowbar.
It's dead. But you do notice something right near the body. It's small and it's white.
Okay, I use the crowbar to like drag it out towards
Okay.
me.
As it gets closer, your first instinct is that someone was eating wings down here and threw a bone on the ground. But that's not quite right either, because it's a little bit bigger than a chicken bone. But you realize it's a bone. Perfectly white. You have no idea what animal it came from or what person.
What the fuck is that banging?
Is there any other entrances and exits we see? Is it basically just a long hall?
It's basically a room, roughly 15 by 20. It's like just a basement landing with one closed door that probably led to storage units for the glass before they shipped it, almost like a bank vault. But they would bring it all down here. Things that were more important, stuff like blown glass that had some value, and they would store it. So, and the sound is coming from behind it.
Okay, guys.
Okay,
We
It's
have
starting.
a really important choice here now, because the logical thing to do is we all go upstairs and we call the cops and tell them we found a dead body.
Are you kidding me? Then we're just going to wake up eating oatmeal and dribbling it on our newspapers again tomorrow morning, and this
Look,
starts all over again, and we failed that test too. And it'll keep going and going
I
until we
appreciate
win.
your whole midlife crisis test thing, but let's try and put our heads on straight for a minute, Ghost Boy. This
Listen,
says
maybe
the
I'm
man
not
with a
buying into
gun.
The test, but I think he does have a point that if we don't do something, if we don't do what he wants, we are just going to wake up again. He wanted us here, so.
So at this point, the handle starts to turn on the door.
You fucker.
I aim at the door and start to back up slowly, just like getting a good line on it.
I try to keep my light on the door, but my hand's very shaky.
The door busts open. It busts open into the room. And if you thought it was cold before, you now know what cold is. Anybody want to tell me what comes out, or do you want me to tell you? You have control here.
Oh,
I would like to say that it looks different to each of us.
Probably when you talk about it later. Yeah, you agree that it does look different to each of you. So what do you see, Jacob?
I see another figure that looks not like the shooter, but has that same unnaturalness to it. And
Okay.
it makes me think that, I'm right. Of course I'm right. And this is my test. And shit's about to get real, and I'm pumped up for it.
Right, but Ethan, when you talk about it later, you describe it or them or what? How do you describe it?
For just a moment, I see Beth. And Beth has in her hands 4 poker chips that she's just sort of flipping elegantly sort of around really, really, really just deftly. And she's got this awful smile and says, and doesn't say anything, but she just sort of leers at me in this way that just creeps me out, and I lower my weapon immediately.
Okay. Chuck, what do you see?
he kind of looks like, oh man, he looks like Vicious from Cowboy Bebop. It's like got like gray, long hair, and like really shadowy under the eyes, and he's all in black, but he's got like dressed nice,
Like
Okay.
a long hair road.
And Regina?
Well, he's my brother, and he's dead.
Okay. I was really counting on you saying that. I was kind of hoping you wouldn't, but I was counting on you doing it. What do you all do?
I'm charging in. This is my moment.
Into what?
I'm
You don't know. The door opened and something came out. You're charging in.
I'm charging in. I got a broom handle, and I know how to use it. No, I don't. I have no idea how to use it, but it seems like a thing that you stab or hit somebody with.
Okay. Is anyone else doing anything, or are they just going to watch him do this?
No, because I would feel like I'm about to say something. I'm about to ask, I'm about to ask why my ex-wife is standing there.
And I'm about,
then I see him
and I'm about to
charge
try to
her.
beat the crap out of her.
Exactly.
and-
And so
and-
I actually start to instinctively stop him.
And I'm fumbling with my phone to try and take a picture because I've already got it up in front of me to do the flashlight. Because I'm like vicious.
Fucking
like, it's
millennials.
Like,
God
I've
damn
seen
it.
that guy on TV.
Good thing you're live tweeting this. Thanks.
Yeah,
a lot.
really. How's the Periscope coming along? What's your viewership?
Yeah.
And Regina, what are you doing?
Oh, my first reaction is horror. And then I'm super fucking pissed because I know this is Robert fucking with us again. So yeah, I'm getting in there with my crowbar. It's not him. It's not really him. It just looks like him.
Okay. I would like everyone who's not trying to live tweet it to draw a card.
All right, I'll go first.
Yep.
Okay.
And is the Hanged Man.
Oh, yes.
That's going to
Oh!
be good.
It's the fool.
I'll go next. And I've
Okay.
got the Queen of Swords again. I keep drawing the same thing.
You keep drawing swords. Okay.
No, like this was the same order. I drew the Nine of
Yeah.
Swords last time, followed by the Queen of Swords, and I've done the
Different
exact
different
same
places
thing again.
though.
Are they in different places? Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure
Yeah.
the shuffle
Yeah, no,
algorithms
it's
work.
Yeah,
definitely a
yeah.
different place.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going.
Okay.
The Page of Pentacles.
Okay. So one of you got a major arcana. So this is going to be, the resolution is going to be about you. For when you read the story of the Hanged Man, it says the Hanged Man shows that you are at a crossroads. One with only two options, up or down, inner out, yes or no. You may find yourself very much wanting to do something, but having no idea what it is or how to do it. If that happens, that is a clear sign that you should stop, relax, and look at the ways that you might need to let go. How do you let go?
Oh man.
Oh. What do you let go?
I'm trying to think of something that's remotely relevant to the context that we're in.
Nope. What do you let go? Just go back to your character.
I let go of that feeling that my life ended when my wife walked out on me, and I'm never going to do anything interesting again. And that
And as soon as you let go of that moment is when it happens. It's hard to describe in everyday terms under a blue sky, right? It seems insane if you would try to articulate it, but in a basement, in the cold, it seems to make perfect sense, not only to Jacob, but to everyone else who's there. This is, in front of you, a cancer of the world. You don't know where it comes from, but you know it's not from here. And you also know that by letting go, you have the ability to take this cancer out of the world. But the way you do that is you bring it into yourself, and you will store it. All you have to do is accept that.
Like each of us, or Jake?
Nope, just Jacob. You have an ability that you didn't know until you let go of your past and were an open, empty, hollow template for the future, that you could do things that you never imagined.
This is your moment. It's that big moment you were dreaming about.
You're at the crossroads, Hanged Man.
So I run up to this guy, and just as I'm about to hit him, I sort of stop, and instead I just walk into him. And
Right.
we just occupy the same space for a moment.
And at the last minute, it sees you not as a human, but what you are just stepping through the doorway and becoming, and it is afraid, for you can destroy it. And in that moment where you occupy the same space, you feel it absorbing into your pores, into your heart, this is part of you now. And it gets reduced down in a very, very weird way to your right pinky finger. Like a storage unit. The tip of your finger now contains a darkness from someplace else that you are storing. And then something, if that wasn't weird enough, even weirder happens. Out of your finger, a piece of your pinky bone expels itself, as if making room for this new thing, and falls to the floor. And you now, looking at your pinky, it looks like a pinky to everyone else. Maybe. Just the tip. Just the very end. The last knuckle. The fingernail. That little tiny metatarsal. Now has a bone made of something evil.
Ugh.
But the good news is, you have stopped whatever it is from getting out into the city.
Ugh.
Into the world. You have made the first sacrificial step to perhaps being something bigger than you ever dreamed that you can be. But the price that you might have to pay, you're only now starting to comprehend.
Ugh.
And you look back down at the business card that you found on the ground, and there's writing there that you swear was not there when you looked at it last time. It's handwritten on the card, like you would make a note for someone, and it merely says, "Welcome to the circus."
Go.
And that's the end of chapter 1.
Go. And I'm creeped the fuck out. Oh.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Well, I don't know where I'm going after today. Well, I just hope it's a long ways away from these dusty, tired streets where I was raised. Lord, I don't think I can take one more day. So I'm gone. So I'm gone. So I'm gone. Anywhere the road